If I had to map out the drugstore food chain, it would be the following, okay? At the top, we have your L'Oreals, your Maybellines, your Revlons. Hello everybody, welcome to Full Face Under $50. No, Full Face Under 50, that sounds better. Yeah. Or FFU50. That's the best. That's the winner. We got that. Okay. So yeah, basically I'm just gonna be doing a full face with drugstore products that will total under $50. I don't have to explain that to you, but I like when things are explained. I feel like this could also be called my favorites at the drugstore because basically all these have remained in my makeup collection, so I obviously like them for some reason. Not to be rude, but sometimes I keep these on hand if I'm like going on a trip because I lose things a lot when I travel, or like things break, shit happens. So sometimes I kind of like to bring drugstore when I'm traveling because I don't really care if it is broken. Not I don't care, but it's not as big of a deal because I can go to the drugstore and get it again and it's like under 10 bucks, you know what I mean? I feel like that's why I've retained a lot of these for quite a while. And some of them are just like better than freaking stuff that you get at Sephora. And there's something about like wearing drugstore that makes you feel like they don't even know, dude. They don't even know that I spent $5 on this fucking bronzer. You know what I'm saying? So like that gives you a little pep in your step. Okay, enough blabbing, let's get started. To start off for foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. Okay, this color's not exactly a shade match right now, but we're gonna overlook that. I might look a little orange, and that's okay. I mean, it's just because I have like the remnants of a fake tan, but like I'm so pale down here that it's just really obvious. I'm self-aware, you know what I'm saying? Because like honestly, you're not a good friend if you're not telling your friends when their foundation doesn't match. Maybelline needs new packaging, okay? This is infuriating. Now for concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I have two different shades. But like if I wasn't such a dumbass, I would have one. I just mean for like the total of this guy. It actually didn't turn out that bad. We made it through. Okay. I really should have just like gotten the right shade, but nothing gives me more anxiety than picking a shade of foundation or concealer. It feels like a life or death situation because returning makeup feels illegal, okay? You got the money? I got the makeup that I want to return is, okay, here you go. Also, if I'm returning something, I don't know if I should return it when I first walk into the store, so I'm not walking around the store with like purchased merchandise on me, or should I do it all in one shot? It just feels sketchy either way, so I avoid the whole situation. That's why it makes picking a shade of foundation so high pressure. So yes, I would rather buy two concealer shades and mix them well enough to make the shade that I want than try to blindly pick a shade of concealer that would match me. Okay, so I just quickly did my brows with the Maybelline Ultrafine that I got for the GG Vogue video, whatever. It's okay, you know? I still die for the NYX micro pencil. That is my forever, but it's $11, so it didn't fit my budge. Next, I'm gonna powder my eyelids, under eyes, forehead, and a bit on the chin with the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. This powder is okay for setting, but I really like it for touch-ups. So what I like to do is take a flat brush that's usually meant for like foundation, and I like really get in there, get the product nice and good and ready, and press it in, and then it's just kind of like a blotter. So I put it like here and here where I get greasy most often, and it's just like using one of those sheets. I forget what those are called. For some reason, this guy plays really well over top already done makeup. The only thing that's kind of criminal is this is considered transparent, and this is clearly not transparent. For eyeshadow, we're going to be using the Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeshadow palette in Rosé in the Air. So I've said this before, but this is 100% a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. It's not exact. There's a few shades that are a little bit different. If you don't think you'll get a whole lot of use out of that one, I highly recommend you get this because it's really inexpensive and it like blends really well. Like I feel like it's really quality for drugstore eyeshadow. I'm just using the transition shade. It is called, it's number 1. just in my crease, just a little bit to give my eyeball some dimension. And then just on like the outer third, I'm using the dark brown, which is number 9. Just right on that outer V. I'm being kind of sloppy because I'm gonna cover it with some glitter. For the inner lid, I'm using the color, or the number 3. I actually kind of like that these are numbered. It makes it a little easier to reference. Eyeshadow names can be cute, but sometimes they're just so outrageous that it gets annoying pretty quickly. And then on the outer edge, I'm using number 5, just with my finger. I like sparkles with my finger. I feel like that's not uncommon. I just think it picks up the product a lot better. And then for a little pop of color, I'm using the shade 8. It's the magenta. And I'm putting that just in the crease to both blend and also to add a little bit of color. And of course, I'm using the same transition shade, shade number 1, for my lower lash line. For the last step in the eyes, this step is optional because this setting spray would push my budget over the edge, but I'm just spraying a eyeliner brush with some setting spray and then swirling that damp brush around in the dark brown color to make kind of a paste. I use the back of my hand kind of as a palette to make sure it's the right consistency. And then I have basically a liquid eyeliner. Now for bronzer, I'm using the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease. There's something about this shade of bronzer that warms up your face without looking muddy, which is kind of hard because I'm guilty on a regular basis overdoing it with bronzer. Like, you can blend it out with powder, but I feel like once you've gone too far, it's hard to come back from. For blush, I'm taking some Wet n Wild Mega Last Matte lipstick in the shade Bare It All. Ooh. I'm warming some up in the back of my hand and then just using a sponge to dab some of it on. I really want to focus on the higher parts of my cheeks. Okay, so that's like the third Wet n Wild product I've used, and I just gotta say, I've done a full 180 on Wet n Wild. Like, I used to think it was just like lower end on the drugstore as far as quality because it is so inexpensive. If I had to map out the drugstore food chain as far as brands, it would be the following, okay? At the top, we have your L'Oreals, your Maybellines, your Revlons on a good day. Middle of the road, we have Milani, Elf, NYX, because you know some NYX products are questionable. Then we have just like the rest of your mediocre drugstore products. Getting close to the bottom here. Then we have dust, garbage, an old pacifier that was found on the ground. It's been there God knows how long. Then we had Wet n Wild. Okay? That was my previous mindset, but now I am here to tell you, hat in hand, that Wet n Wild is f***ing dope. I love their eyeshadows. I love their highlighters. I love their bronzers. Oh, I love their brushes. Dude, these are $3 or something around there, and I reach for them more often than brushes that cost me like $30. I just need to like get that off my chest, admit when I'm wrong. Now for highlighter, I'm using the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I go back and forth if I like this guy. Sometimes I like it because it's really subtle, and you know we love a subtle highlight moment, but other times I think that it's kind of just useless. Like, it doesn't really do anything for your face. Maybe this shade's just not great for my skin tone, but I'm just not like all about it. For lips, I'm using the same lipstick again. I'm just gonna put some on my finger, and then I just want to wash a color because this is a little bit too peachy for kind of the, like, I think I have a lot of blush tones and I don't want to that up. And finally, for mascara, I'm using the Essence Lash Princess, the volume mascara. Is this a good mascara for $5? Sure. Is it my favorite mascara that's around this price point? No. I think if you spend even $1 or $2 more, you can find better mascaras at the drugstore. I should mention that this mascara with like the green color, I believe it's called the Falsies, is apparently better. I'm no gambler, but if I were to bet money, I would bet that this is the exact same formula with a different brush. So, not gonna waste my time with the other one. I find this flaky and it's just like not my favorite. I also think it makes my eyeballs a little bit itchy. I know there's a lot of hype and like, yes, it's super cheap, but I think that you can find a better option for around the same price point. Okay, full transparency, I just sprayed my face with the Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray and my makeup looks 100 times better. Like, I think this is so good. I'm not including it, it's optional, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, your makeup can look like trash and you spray this on and you look 1,000 times better. Also, if this is like considered cheating, I feel like I would have gotten the same effect if I just like ran up and down the stairs a few hundred times and like the sweat would like make my makeup look this good. Does anyone else feel like when you first put your makeup on, it looks good, but then you like wait a little bit and it like settles in and then it looks great? That's why I feel like this already brings you so you don't have to like wait. That completes the FFU50. Proof that you don't have to spend a lot of money to look like $1,000,000. You know how long I've waited to fucking say that, dude? Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe so we can be friends, and I'll see you later. Also, can we talk about how this outfit looks like could be visiting grandma or going to church, could be on the way to steal your mans? You know what I mean? All right, I'm actually done now. Please subscribe. Also, like, leave a comment. Fucking, I'd love some feedback, bro.